So let me show you how you can set up a supplier approval email in Zahara using Zapier. So come into Zapier, let's assume you've got an account already, and let's assume that you've already accepted the invitation link that we offer at Zahara. So we click on Create Zap, and the first thing I want to do is create a trigger from Zahara. So I'm going to type in Zahara here, select Zahara latest, and the event I want is new supplier. That's all there is to it on there. Secondly, I need to choose the Zahara account. So if you haven't created any Zahara accounts, it will ask you to set one up. I've already got one here for Rapid Systems. Actually, I'm going to use Edge Technologies. I'll create a new one here for Edge Technologies, which is a business unit. And in Zahara, you get to the API key by going into business settings, integrations, and finding the API key down here. Okay, so I'm going to click on continue. I could test the trigger and it will try and find a supplier that's been created in that account recently. So it's got one here, so that's fine. I'll use that one. Okay, so now what do I want to do now the new supplier has been created? I want to do an approval. So I'm going to use approval by Zapier. Okay, it's a very simple one here. We've got, that's all we want to do is approval by Zapier. And we want to create an approval. That's it. And we'll click continue. And it's basically saying, what fields are we going to add into this table view that we show the approver. So the approver is going to see a thumbs up or a thumbs down, which is approve or reject, but we can show them some information from the newly created supplier record. So what we do is we'll take the supplier name, we'll put that in there. We could put in any other pieces of information. We could put in the created date. We could put in the accounts, kind of account code, for example, telephone number, anything we want to. So I'm just going to put in the reference number as well. Okay, now the way that approvals work in Zapier is that you basically get a unique link for this particular thing. So if you're creating an approval process for some people in your finance team, you would have a dedicated link for them. So if I copy that link, if I was to paste that link into a web browser, that's effectively what the approvers are going to see. It says nothing to review here, which is absolutely fine. So I'm going to click continue, and that is basically our step. There's nothing more to do than that. If I go test and continue, then that's it. So going back to this, let's just look at this. It's set up the actions, sorry. When the down arrow is clicked, stop the zap. This is the most common and the default. When the down arrow is up, I would continue the zap, because what I want to do is when it's rejected, actually what I want to do is update the supplier record in Zahara. So let's do that now. So if we now click on this bit here, plus, and we type Zahara again, and latest. So let's just recap. New supplier is created in Zahara, goes out for approval, and actually somebody rejects it. Somebody approves it, nothing really to do here. If somebody rejects it, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to come back to Zahara. We are going to update the supplier. Continue. And which account is it? It's Rapid Systems. No, it's Edge Technology, isn't it? That one there. Click continue. And now we need to set this up. So the identifier, the unique ID for the supplier is ID. So we will go with that one there because it's populated. The name will be the supplier name. So if we search for name here, it will be the name, Amazon Payments in test data. Reference number, let's search for that. Reference number. And what I want to do is I want to put do not use on the at the end of the supplier's name, and I also want to give it a type of unapproved. Okay, continue that. So test and continue. So we're ready now. The Zap is all set up, ready to go. So we're going to test it. So it's turned on, it's ready to go, it's waiting. I'll give it a name up here. So Edge Tech Supplier approval. Okay, so that's done. Let's just wait down here. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Remember, we've got our approval dashboard up here, and probably what I would do is in that Zapier, in the Zap that we've just created there, Edge Tech, filter back into it, Edge Tech supplier approval. I would probably put a team step or Slack or email to tell the approver that they need to approve with that link in there provided to them. But anyway, for the benefit of the video, let's just crack on and have a look at it. So here I am, I'm in Edge Technologies, I'm in suppliers, I'm going to create a new supplier. I'm going to call it Tom's Catering Van. No type, account code Tom008. I'm not going to give it any other information. I'm going to give the contact name of Tony Smith, and that's all I'm going to give it. Continue, continue, and continue, and create supplier. Okay, so we've created that supplier, Tom's Catering Van. What we're looking for now is for that Zapier to run and for our approval inbox here to be populated with the information or the approval of that supplier in due course. So I've just refreshed the approval page here, approval by Zapier. I've got Tom's Catering Van, the creation date today, and the reference number, and I'm not very happy about that, so I'm going to reject it. So that's all I've got to do. I'm rejecting it. You can see down here that the item is being rejected, which means it's going on to the next phase of the Zap, which will be to update the supplier record. So if we come into here and we find Tom's Catering Van here, what we're looking for is the name. Oh, it's now got do not use on the end of it. So let's have a look at that. Let's view that. It now says Tom's Catering Van do not use, and the type is unapproved. I didn't do that. That was done by the Zap. And that is supplier approvals in Zapier. Hope that's been useful.